Here is a number that should get your attention. About 50% of people that actually sit for the CISSP exams come out with a pass. Or I even take it low to 20%, meaning that two people going to write the exams, only one gets to come out with a pass. I came out with a pass and my exam stopped at exactly 100 questions. In this video, I will be showing you practical steps, strategies, materials, and progression that I used to get there. Working as a cybersecurity professional full-time, I studied for these exams between 3 to 5 months, right? And you are going to learn so much today. Welcome back. So before I dive into the strategy and the materials that I use for the exams, I just want to put some context. I have been working in cybersecurity for like 5 years now, and I have had experiences across different domains in cybersecurity and the ones covered in the CISSP exams, right? So I personally believe that every certification you write should mean something to you. So you don't just like stand up and write a certification, it should mean something to you. Then who are the audience for this video? One, these are people that are starting afresh. You just want to start studying for the CISSP. You can just adopt the approach, right, I'm about to share, and you can use it to write the CISSP exams. It's also for people that you are actively studying and you have the exams in the next few months or weeks, right? You can just pick out something from this video and it's going to be very helpful to you. I mean, it's just 2 weeks I took my CISSP exams, and I've literally talked to some people that have written and they have passed. So just stay tuned. You're going to learn so much from this video. And also to point out, this is one of two videos that I'm going to be doing for my CISSP journey. So this video is mainly for the strategy and the materials that I use. The next video will be for the mindset and how I was able to navigate through the exams. Now, the strategy that I use is broken down into 5 different layers. So the layer 1 is building the foundation. So this is when you want to gain knowledge, you want to just understand the CISSP exams, you want to understand the domains, you just want to know what are the domains by name and all that. That is the building the foundation. The next layer is going deeper. So this is where you literally pick up the materials and you read line by line, topics by topics and all that. The next layer is testing yourself. So from what you've learned from the foundation to going deeper, you need testing yourself. Okay, what have I learned so far? Have I improved? Right, so that is how you test yourself. The layer 4 is filling the gaps. So from the gaps that you've identified in your testing phase, you need to fill those gaps and ensure that those are things that you didn't know or maybe you didn't understand and all that, you're able to learn and understand them. Go back to the materials if need be. And then the last phase and the last layer is sharpen the edge. So this is where you're having a broad understanding, summary of all the things that you've learned. So that is the approach that I use for my exams, and I'm going to go into each of the layer one after another. Laying the foundation. So for laying the foundation stage, I literally used only one material for this, and this was the CISSP exams crammed by Pete. Is a free 8 hours course on YouTube that you can just listen to. What I can advise at this point is don't memorize. Even if you don't understand, don't go back. Just keep listening. You can play it when you're working, you can play it as you're driving. Just listen to this man, because CISSP is like building a house. Like, you don't just go to the roof, you don't just go so deep, you might literally be overwhelmed. So it's always good to lay some foundation, start small. So I highly recommend that 8 hours course for you to just have an overview of what CISSP is about, the domains, the subtopics, key points that you need to know. You can take notes of key topics, right? Key things that, I really need to go deeper into this particular topic. You can take note, but at this point, just listen to the man. So this was the first approach that I used, laying the foundation, and I used the 8 hours course for this particular foundation. The second layer is going deeper. So for going deeper, I used 2 materials for this. One is the official CISSP manual, the 9th edition. Hold up, I know that you'll be like, that's over 8,000 pages. I know, right? Yes, yes, yes. But I literally studied it because depending on your approach, right? Some people like to study books, some people like to listen to videos. But for me, I feel like when I study the book, I'm able to like take a pause and I'm able to like reach out to other materials, go online, check things. I don't know, but it's me. It's fine. But for me, I literally went through the manual, and this an exam that is being provided by CISSP, so it's normal for you to like read the manual because it just gives you the language of the exams, right? So I literally went through the materials. I did the practice tests for each of the domains, but truthfully, I only stopped at, I think, after the domain 4. I didn't go back. I didn't do domain 5, 6, 7, 8, right? But I did study the material cover to cover, and then I did the test from domain 1 to domain 4. Another material I use at this stage, so after I finished the CISSP official manual, I moved into Udemy course by Thor Pedersen, right? He has this full CISSP exams videos that from domain 1 to domain 8. It's literally plenty, but it will give you so much insights. So for you that maybe don't like reading, you can also like explore that option. But for me, I did it too. So I always tell people for CISSP exams, I gather so much knowledge, and it literally also I saw the benefit of gathering knowledge. So after the manual, I just went straight to the Udemy course and I took all the courses, and I also did like the practice tests. He has like 30 practice tests each of the domains, and all the domains I got over 70, but one of the domains I didn't get was domain 3. I know it's a problem for everyone, but that was one of the domains I didn't get 70%, but I got like 69 or 65, and I had to like do it again. But going deeper is like when you want to deep dive into each of the topics, you want to go into learning everything about each of the domains. So that is the test strategy that I use for my exam. The third strategy that I also use is testing yourself. So at this point, you've gotten so much knowledge, you have studied the materials, you have literally laid the foundation. You need to be able to test your knowledge, the things that you understand, and how you are able to progress in your learning. Testing is what gives you that leverage. So for me, I use different materials to test myself. The first was completing the 4 practice questions. Chapple, right? He has this practice test that he can just complete, and each of the practice tests has 150 questions, and after you've completed it, it grade you by domains, right? So okay, me for domain 1 you had this, by domain 2 you had this, right? So I was able to complete that, and sincerely, all the practice question, I only had one practice question that I scored 73%. The rest I scored like 68 or 62 or 67. I didn't get, at that point I felt like a little bit discouraged, but it just gave me the ginger to be able to like study more. Another material I use to test my CIS app by Destination Certification is a free app that you can also use. I also used another app. I'm just gonna drop the screenshot. It's a CISSP app that you can also use to like test yourself domain by domain. So I did that, and each of the domain has like I think 60 or maybe 70 questions. Layer 4, this is filling the gaps. At this point, you have studied and then you have also tested yourself, and in the process of testing yourself, you have identified areas of weaknesses, areas that you need to improve, right? So for me, after I did my practice test, I wanted to deep dive into the areas that I had less familiarity, and that brought me to Destination Certification free YouTube course that has like the core domains or the core topics in each of the domains. It is very insightful. I literally recommend that for you. So I went through the videos, and after going through the videos, I also started my Claude AI learning. So that is going to be discussed more in my final strategy. Claude AI, yes, this is the final strategy, which is just you sharpen your edge, right? Okay, just have just enjoyed the studies, enjoyed the readings and everything. So I used Claude AI, and it was very, very instrumental in my learning. Like, okay, so how did I use it? I literally programmed Claude AI to give me detailed analysis of each of the domains, right, in the CISSP exams, and we will go through the topics in each of the domains and then do a practice test at the end of the each domains, and it identify where your weaknesses are, and also like explore better, right, to be able to for me to be able to understand better and also fill the gaps. So at each of the domains, we're also like going through a lot of topics. We went through a lot of conversations, and it was very, very helpful. So Claude AI was also like something that I used towards the end of my studies. And like 5 days, which is like a week to my exams, I went back to my PET 8 hours course on YouTube. So the course that I used to start my CISSP journey is the same course I used to summarize my CISSP reading. So I went back to that course and I just kept listening and also like understanding, also like just trying to be familiar with some of the topics or things I've learned over time. Right, that was the last material that I used for my CISSP. Now there is one approach I just want to put it out here, but in our next video next week we are just going to deep dive into the mindset. But I know that you'll be asking me, you were just studying, you were just gaining knowledge and all that, where is the manager's mindset coming in here? I'm going to discuss that in our next video, but this video is mainly for the strategy and the materials that I use for my CISSP exams. So I'm going to be seeing you in our next video where I'm going to take you through the mindset and also the approach and how I was able to navigate the exams. So I hope that you've gotten so much knowledge from this strategy that I've used. Remember, you have to build the foundation, you have to go deeper, you have to test yourself, and then after testing yourself, fill the gaps and the weaknesses, and then the last layer is sharpen the edge. So that is my strategy and the materials that I use for my CISSP exams. So I'm going to see you in my next video. My name is Godwin Ikwanke from Cyber Status. Bye for now.